Hey, what's up, guys? I just wanted to give you a quick little introduction to trigonometry, and then we'll work through a couple of examples today. So trigonometry is all about these right-angle triangles, particularly when we're given an unknown angle, which we'll call theta, and a couple of other sides. We'll talk about these sides here. You might have used these as A, B, and C if you've done a bit of Pythagoras before. But I'm going to talk about how we change those up for trigonometry. So trigonometry is particularly revolving around three ratios, and then there's a few variations on those different ratios. We have the sine ratio, we have the cosine ratio, and we have the tangent ratio. And it's about how these sides interrelate to each other and the angle associated with those. Given this unknown angle, if we get the sine of an unknown angle, then the opposite side divided by the hypotenuse will actually give us that result. Opposite over hypotenuse. For the cosine of an angle theta, we actually use this other side, the adjacent side, and divide it by the hypotenuse. And there's only one other option left for us with the tangent ratio, and that's using the opposite side divided by the adjacent side. There are options where we flip these over, but we're not actually going to cover those ones in this one. If you want to look more into that, we can probably cover that another time. Just let me know. So I've got for you a four-step process that I think you can apply to any trig style question. Number one, you need to identify the ratio that you need to use. So identify whether you're using sine, cosine, or tangent. And you use the phrase SOH CAH TOA to help you remember each of these ratios. You can see the SOH, CAH, and TOA to get those through there. After you've worked out which ratio you need to use, from there it's a simple fact of just substituting values. So if your theta is the unknown, then you substitute in the other two, the lengths that you know. If you don't know one of these lengths, maybe there's an x next to it, you're probably given the angle in that case, so you should be able to solve it from there. We might do some trickier ones later on where you've got a couple of unknowns in there. The third step you're going to be doing is obviously solving for that unknown, because whether that's theta or x, but whenever there is an unknown, obviously in maths we want to work that one out ASAP so we can move on to the next idea with that number. And the last little thing, pretty important, is to review your answer and make sure it makes sense. Because if you've used the wrong, if by any chance you've used the wrong ratio, this answer at the end here isn't going to make any sense, and it's going to be pretty obvious. Make sure you use the correct units, whether you're using degrees, radians, meters, centimeters. Work that out as we go through as well.